Hello everyone, today we're going to dive into Animate Spans with text and performance. So let's start the presentation. So my name is Ahmed Abdul Wakeel and I'm an Android developer here in Line Fukuoka. I recently moved to Japan in this pandemic. I'm a big fan of Android, doing Android development for last 7 years. In my free time, I watch Netflix, anime and sometimes cricket as well. Okay, so some of you maybe know that Line recently introduced animation emoji project. As you can see, we have a little moving emojis, and in this presentation we're going to discuss how we approached to this idea and how we implemented it and what are the issues that we faced. Okay, so in this presentation we're going to start with the introduction and then we'll move to file format, and after that we're going to talk about spans and how we're going to use spans with text views and editx, and at the end we're going to discuss about the performance issues, and then I'll try to summarize the whole presentation in one. Okay, so let's start with the introduction. As I told you earlier, Line recently introduced animation emoji features. Okay, so emojis actually really enhance the communication and the fun and entertainment part of the messaging. So as Line already has multiple emojis, but here in Line we really want to take this user experience to next level. So we decided to introduce animation emojis. Okay, so the most important part is what file format are we going to use here. So there are a number of file formats available. One is APNG and the one is GIF, WebP. So here we are going to discuss the differences between two basic formats. One is APNG and the other one is GIF. So let's start with APNGs. This APNG format support 24-bit image, so it means we have more colors, and it also support 8-bit transparency. So with all these bits, it still has lower file size. On the other hand, GIF do not support alpha channel, and it has limited number of colors. Okay, transparency is a big issue with GIF. Like if we see a GIF with a transparent background, you can see a white border at the edge of an image. But GIF is widely supported by many platforms and many tools. So in this comparison, we can conclude that APNG format is better than GIF. So we selected this format for our animation emoji project. Okay, so what is APNG? So APNG is animated portable network graphics. So basically it's extension of all existing PNG format. The benefit that we discussed before, there's another biggest benefit is that it's super backward compatible. It means any PNG decoder can easily display APNG images, but it will not animate the images. So that's the one point. And if you see the image here, it's just how like different frames are added here and with some extra metadata. Okay, so now we finalize our APNG image file format. Now discuss how Android is going to render it on screen. So basically Android use hardware rendering and software rendering to display text, images or anything you see on screen. So hardware rendering, as you can see, it's used GPU, so it's very fast because we have a dedicated hardware for it. And on the other hand, software rendering, it use CPU, so operations are performed immediately, but it do not have any dedicated hardware, so it's little slow. The important point that we going to discuss later in our slides, that the software rendering has cache size limitation. So we will discuss more about it in later slides. Okay, so Android provides us facility to control the switch between hardware and software rendering. Like we can switch on between these rendering methods on application level or a single activity level or windows or even on a single view. Let's just say our whole application is rendered using hardware rendering, but for a single view we want to use software rendering, so we can switch that as well. Okay, so let's discuss about spans. Okay, spans are a powerful concept, and these are used to style a complete text or a part of text, and it also provide access to basic components like canvas and text paints. Okay, so spans are for quite some time, and it's been supported by many components like TextView, edit text, and different layouts like static and dynamic layouts. Okay, sometimes we use HTML tags in our string resources. So if we see in detail at the backend, these HTML format is actually converted to spans first, then it is being displayed on screen. Okay, so for spans, we have multiple APIs like SpannableString, SpannableString Builder, but here we're going to use SpannableString. Okay, so let's just create a SpannableString. Okay, so I created a SpannableString here, and it says let's have fun and party. Okay, so we added 3 spans. So the first span here is style span bold, so it will part of the text bold, and the other span is foreground color span, which will change the color to red. And the last span is an image span, so it will display an image. So if you see the set span methods, it has 4 parameters. One is spans, what kind of span that we want to apply, and the other two parameters are range, like start index and end index, and the last parameter is about the inclusive or exclusive, like we're going to include or exclude the ranges here. And the third and last one, we just added the spannable string like a normal text, because the spannable string are extended from character sequence, so we can use it normally. Okay, so we have a image here, and our fun part is bold and it's red color. So we can use spans to do all kind of stuff, and limit is just your imagination. Okay, so now we established our basis, and now we're going to start coding and how we're going to implement the animation emojis here. Okay, so as I told earlier, that any PNG renderer can render or display a PNG image, but without the animations. So we want a renderer or a decoder to display the APNG drawables. So here in line, we developed a library called APNG drawable. It's a lightweight library written in C++ and Kotlin, so it's fast. Also, it's open source, so you can go to GitHub and download and use it in your project. It provides many useful methods, like you can start animation, stop animation, or other methods like animation callbacks or lifecycle callbacks. So it provides a lot of methods which are really helpful. Okay, so let's talk about decoding. So APNG drawable provides mainly 3 decoding methods. We can decode any APNG file like which are downloaded in our file directory. We can download it, and we can decode using input streams as well. And if we have any assets or APNG image bundled in our asset folder, we can decode it as well. Okay, so drawable class actually provide us a callback, and we are going to use this callback to actually animate the image. And how we are going to do it, we're going to discuss when we try to animate images in our TextView. So let's start with the animated span inside TextView. Okay, so we have an example here. Let's go through step by step. Okay, so first we are using our APNG drawable to decode for image ball.png in our assets directory, and we set the loop count here. So here loop count is APNG drawable.loop forever, which means it keeps on continuing animating again and again. It will not stop unless or until we specifically stop it. And second, we have a callback. Okay, so let's discuss about this callback a little more. So let's just say first frame of APNG is visible, and after 10 milliseconds we want to display the next frame. So this drawable will initiate a callback and call the invalidate drawable method, and here we are going to invalidate our views. Okay, so so after invalidation, the view is trying to redraw itself, and in doing so, it will display the next frame as well. So now the second frame is visible, and after 10 milliseconds, the third frame is about to be displayed. So it will again call the invalidate drawable, and we're going to invalidate view. So in doing so, in validation, we are going to display the third frame. So let's just create a spannable string. So let's have a fun party. Okay, like we created earlier, and we added an image span. The last one, we set the spannable string like normal text and start the animation. Okay, so we have this cute animation. Let's have a fun and with the pair. Okay, so this image span is basically a replaceable span, so it replaced the image with the text, right? Okay, so now our we have a working animation in our text view, but it has some limitations and issues. So let's discuss about the limitations and issues that we faced while working on animation span inside text view. Okay, so we have two common properties, TextWatcher and isSelectable. Okay, so whenever we use these properties, an editor is attached to the text view. Okay, so if an editor is attached to the text view, then the invalidation behavior that we discussed in previous slide will not work as expected. As you can see, this is the code snippet of TextView class method set text is selectable. So you can see create editor if needed method is called. So if we use a selectable property, then that editor will be attached. So how we going to fix it? So there are number of solutions that we can apply. So let's start with the first solution. Okay, so we can achieve this property behavior with the combination of a simple like properties. We can use set focusable in touch mode, clickable, movement methods, text, and all these methods. So using these properties, the behavior will be similar to text is selectable, right? So we can ignore this property and do it ourselves. But what about the TextWatcher? Okay, so let's discuss about this TextWatcher issue. Okay, so for TextWatcher, if we cannot avoid it, then we must use software rendering. Okay, so in doing so, then we can have a normal rendering or invalidation behavior that we have earlier. But this software rendering has a cache issue limitation. Let's just say we have a very long text displayed on screen, and you can see we can long press and select something is on the screen, but it's not visible. It's due to cache size limitation. So there are a number of solutions that we can apply to fix this issue. So the one issue is we can limit the height of text view. Like we want to display limited number of characters or data on screen. So by limiting the height of the text view, we can achieve this behavior. Another solution would be use wrap around text view inside a scroll view. So we only limited number of characters or data is displayed on the screen, so we can really save our cache size. Okay, so now let's start with the edit text. Now we have discussed about the text views and the issues that we face in doing so. Now let's move toward the edit text. So here's an example. So we created APNG drawable from asset, and we set a callback like we did in TextView, and now we created a spannable string and set the text here. Okay, so spannable string provide us a method to get spans, so we can get all the spans of our need using getSpans method, and we can then iterate it using for each loop. So here you can see we get all the spans of image span class, and we iterated with the for each loop and started the animation. Okay, so in previous slides we established that if a view has editor attached to it, then we must use software rendering. For that, for edit text by default an editor is attached to it, so we must use software rendering here. Okay, so let's see the result of it. Okay, so we have an edit text with the text let's have fun and our animation emoji. Okay, so now we are using software rendering with edit text, so we have to face all the issues that come with the software rendering. Okay, so like we must use software rendering for edit text, but the software rendering has cache issue. So similar solutions that we apply to TextView, we can apply here. We can limit the height of edit text, or we can assign a max number of lines so that only 3 or 4 lines can be displayed on the screen. So in doing so, we can save our cache here. Okay, now we have implemented the animation emoji here. Now let's just discuss about the performance part. Okay, so there are a number of factors that going to affect the performance of our view. The one is number of spans, and the other one is rendering methods. So let's start with the number of spans. Okay, so far an example we have seen example with only one animation emoji. Let's just say we have 10 animation emojis in our view, and all the animation emojis are trying to invalidate the view, which is kind of overkill, and it will cost us a performance. So what we can do here is we can allow only the animation emoji with the maximum animation duration to invalidate the text view. So if now that emoji is going to invalidate the view, and in doing so all the other animations or animation emojis will be displayed the next frame. Okay, and the second part is limit the number of spans. So like user especially in a chat application, user can enter as many span as he wants. So if we can limit the number of spans like 100 to 100, then we can save some headache due to performance issues. And also we can use pre-computed text. Now we have a lot of spans in our text view or edit text. So the pre-computed text will actually offload the calculation to background thread. So this will definitely help us in solving some performance issues. And the second one is like rendering methods. As hardware rendering is supported by GPU, so we have dedicated hardware, so it's fast. So we should try to opt for hardware rendering, especially for text view. But for the edit text, we must use software rendering. So we should watch out for cache size. Okay, so so far we discussed about the implementation and the problems that we face it, and here I'm going to summarize all about it. Okay, so APNGs are better format than the other format. It supports more colors, good transparency, and spans are good way to decorate text, and we can use spans to display images or animation emojis in our text. Okay, a rendering method is important. Like a hardware rendering do not work for edit text, so we must use software rendering, and software rendering comes with cache limitation issues, so you have to watch out for it. Okay, and second, having spans or a lot of spans in our text can affect our performance. So thank you. That's about it.
ドロイド会議2021チャンネル登録をお願いいたします。